Way before I started my self love journey, I dealt with these strange, odd, weird feelings of not liking myself. And if I'm completely honest, these feelings still tend to creep up. And they even went as far as me mildly hating myself. I understand now that these thoughts, ideas, some toxic, very and even very damaging. These concepts and thoughts I've had about myself didn't necessarily come from me. If you struggle with hating yourself, and I know hate is a strong word, so we can replace that with dislike. If you've ever struggled with disliking yourself or hating yourself, if you've struggled with issues with your self worth, self confidence, this message is for you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Self love is currency. To all of my returning subscribers, my day ones, my OGs, thank you all so much for your continued support. If you are new to this channel, go ahead and click that like button and go ahead and subscribe to this channel if the title resonates or if anything else on this channel resonates with your heart and soul. Yeah, so let's get into today's episode, this episode of our Reveal to Heal series. This is episode 6. You were programmed to hate yourself. And I'm repeating myself again. You were programmed to hate yourself. So this is episode 6 of our Reveal to Heal series, where we reveal parts of ourselves in order to heal. The more that we reveal, the more that we heal, the more that we unveil our true selves, and the more that we heal, the more that we reveal our most authentic and elevated self. So without further ado, let's get back into it. You don't just wake up hating yourself, disliking yourself, and having a low sense of self worth. Like I said, I've struggled with this. And if you've struggled with this, that sense of struggling is you in your mind logically thinking and knowing on a conscious level that you do not really feel like this. And I'm getting a message right now, like we wrestle in the spirit, um, not only in the flesh or something like that, but it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing. These feelings that we have, these ill feelings about ourselves, they do not belong to us, yet they invade our mind. They take up space in our brain, in our body. They consume our thoughts and sometimes even consume our entire day. It's a micro thing, this whole self hate epidemic that gradually happens over time. It's a gradual chip away process. In most cases, it started in childhood with parents or family members slowly chipping away at your sense of self by way of verbal abuse, physical, sexual, and mental abuse, all while you're maneuvering through various types of trauma and you're still young and you're trying to develop and you have no positive self-affirming experiences to combat or offset the negative. So this is where that self-hate starts to stir up in your spirit, where it's created or how it's created. You have no one telling you you're beautiful without expecting you to give into sexual inappropriateness and or abuse. You have no one hyping you up in grade school, speaking on your intellect in a loving way, unless it makes them look good, i.e., parents bragging to their friends or other family members about how well you're doing in school. yeah, she making straight A's and they got a full ride to such and such college. Yet they don't recognize you or acknowledge you or even treat you with respect behind closed doors. This confusion, if internalized, leads to a distorted version of self because you're battling with the confusion. Like, I think I'm doing good. I know I'm doing good because they praise me to other people, yet behind closed doors, they're belittling you. They may be manipulating you, they're abusing you. And this is all while you're trying to develop and gain a sense of self in childhood or adolescenthood. Narcissists often do this with people, and I'm deeming it the trophy wife, girlfriend, or trophy husband if the roles are reversed, or the narcissist role is reversed phenomena, to where they are treating you like an object. You are an extension of them. So whatever you do in a good light grants them narcissistic supply. It strokes their ego to know that something that belongs to them, quote unquote, in their mind is performing in society or in the world at a satisfactory level that other people deem to be respectable or attractive. So even though, and I'll just say, like, all narcissists do this to some degree. I just make the example of the parent and the child dynamic. The sad reality is that you have to face the persons who raised you, who also lack self-confidence, self-worth, self-love. And this is the thing, like, when you're going through these experiences with your parents or whoever raised you, you don't necessarily see these people as lacking these things. Because you're a child, you just going through the ebbs and flow of childhood. But you're not realizing at that time that they are projecting a lot. So the sad reality is that you have to face the sad reality that you have to face is that the person or persons who raised you lack self confidence, self worth, self love, and they didn't have any internal resolve. So instead of doing the inner work or self work in order to make their wrongs right, they just projected. They made decisions to abuse, to manipulate, to be deceptive. Furthermore, however they felt about themselves, that information was also programmed into you. So if they struggled with self hate, self worth, lack confidence, that was programmed into you. So, and that's also how they made you feel through their actions and their lack thereof. That's not necessarily how you felt about you, though. So, I do want to make this clear so you can learn to differentiate whenever these feelings come up. Is it you feeling like that, or is it echoes of a traumatic or abusive past? That's not necessarily how you feel or felt about you. You may have had some sense of self and liked aspects of yourself. However, it's difficult to practice self love or have a positive outlook on yourself if you are living in a household with a lot of self hate. And that's why it's difficult to be the light or a light, be positive, be nice, be kind, in a group of toxic people, in a group of dysfunctional people, in a group of, or I would say, like, within a group of narcissistic friends and family is difficult. because it's polar opposites trying to coexist in the same environment, and it just doesn't work. That's why you find like a lot of people who do I was about to say hybrid vibrate on a higher level, they tend to be loners, um or stick to themselves, because it can be difficult surrounding yourself for being enmeshed in that negative as low vibrational energy. And just a disclaimer, I am reading some notes here, so if I'm pausing, that is why. Yes. So it was difficult, and it is difficult to live in a household with a lot of self hate that's only being masked under material possession, substance abuse issues, abuse, trauma, etc. That's the root cause of your parents slash caregivers' own self hate. If you find yourself feeling good about yourself now as an adult, um, but your confidence feels weird, or like you're having imposter syndrome, like you having a good day, you feeling good about yourself, and then for a snap second, you like, why me feeling good about myself feel weird? Why does this feeling of me feeling good feel weird, if that makes sense? It's becomes because you were programmed to hate yourself, and you're deprogramming yourself by healing and remembering that those old thought patterns and feelings were never yours to begin with. If you are still tuned into this message, thank you all so much. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, and go ahead and click that subscribe button for more. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.